here we go. Starting the show in 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. We are an actual play podcast, and we are currently playing Call of Cthulhu. We're free of scripts and crazy editing because we create this story collaboratively and in the moment. A reminder that we will be at Chaosium Con, April 14th through the 16th. We'll be speaking in seminars, running workshops. Emily's emceeing the podcasters panel. I'm on the podcasters panel. You can learn more about that event at chaosium.com. My name's Arthur. I'm playing Buddy. And we are back to full strength tonight. So that means I'm joined by Scott as Johnny Dante, Rick as Sam, Emily as Colette, Wayne as Sister B, and as always, our amazing keeper is Michael. Michael, the show is all yours.
Hey, thanks, Art. Under the Library is a horror tabletop RPG set in the Call of Cthulhu universe. We have horror and other unsettling imagery, featuring mature themes played by immature people. Not safe for Scott. Is your signal the following information will be graphic? If you're concerned, skip ahead, but stick with us. And if fava beans make you think of Chianti, and Chianti makes you hungry for liver, you're probably in the right place. And with that, I'll pass it over to Emily.
See what you did
Thanks,
there.
Michael. So, last time, Johnny Dante left the dining car heading towards the front of the train. He spoke to the conductor, Jim, to report the incident. Jim gave Johnny full authority to clean up and to conduct an investigation. So Johnny instructed the staff to wrap the remains and store them in one of the food prep fridges. In the meantime, Colette watched Buddy both shoot and stab the book, but to no avail. As they left the dining car, Buddy refused to speak to Colette, only wanting to get past her and back to his compartment to keep the book away from the other passengers. Colette finally stepped aside and Buddy fled down the train. And Colette took a moment to update Amanda on the situation. At the end of our session, Buddy locked himself in his compartment, alone with the book, and heard a voice ask, "Are you mad at me?"
Are we mad at you, buddy?
I hope not. I'm just trying to protect people. I don't want anybody else to get exploded.
All right, we'll check in on Buddy in a second. We haven't seen Sister B in a while, so why don't we go over to that train where Sister B is clinging to the top as it races down the tracks with her suitcase. Is it tied to the train? Or do you
Yeah, well, yep. So she has like a blue cut long tarp, and then she makes it secure to, I guess when there's some rail or handrail or something like that going in or anything, a loop, metal loop, and just to tie it down in the wind. And I'm thinking it wouldn't be prudent for her to do that to herself. So she's not going to do that to herself. So she'll leave herself footloose and fancy-free and untethered.
And down below, as you look into the hatch, right, the side doors open so light kind of fills, and you can see these popped canisters.
And
there's
warm air
tarps flapping. Yeah, there's warm air flowing into these leaking boxes, so the fog's kind of dissipating out into the air. And
she only opened 3. Two?
And,
okay.
Yep, and there's these crumpled forms that are, starting to thaw in the warm air as well.
Okay, so she's keeping her eye on that. Looking at the landscape about her, what's the topography? Is it, high desert, mountains in the distance, tumbleweeds?
Yeah, pretty much anywhere as you make that route through northern Texas, it's going to be plains and desert. And for now,
So she can see for a long distance. So, she just keeps her eyes out and peeled if the train is coming towards a town. She has a hunch, if this is the type of train it is, like, military trains would be that were sealed. If it comes to a town, it's not stopping. It's most likely going through. If it does stop, to her, that signifies that it's an important town with connection to the facility where she came from, perhaps a secret one. So that would be rather interesting. So she wants to note that if the train is coming to, or even slows down a little bit, any notation of that going on. Other than that, she's going to have to hold secure because jumping off the train at this point isn't going to behoove anyone's health when they only have 9 hit points.
So as she clings along, and occasionally as you move through some of the smaller towns, as it gets to a crossing or something like that, the train slows ever so slightly, but nothing meaningful. And your first major kind of stop would be Dallas. But there is, or I guess stop where you might expect that to happen, and nothing happens as you arrive there. The train slows down ever so slightly, so as to appropriately switch tracks and not get entangled in traffic, but it just keeps on going.
How easy would it be for Sister B to move from car to car on the roof of the cars? Sometimes trains are built that way, where people can do that. Like there's, troop carriers would have that, I suppose, but some don't, obviously. Some have like this.
These are going to be similar cars to the one you're on. They all have ladders to access, but they're sealed up pretty good. But moving from one car to the other wouldn't be too difficult.
Wouldn't be too difficult. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Especially for Sister B.
So since she has the time, why just hang about and look at the sunset? So Miss Sister B, she's going to go from one car to the car in front. If they look similar, she's going to go to the car in front of her, and she wants to make that leap over the gap, or or perhaps a more conservative move, and then make her way to the hatch if it has a similar hatch, and she wants to try the hatch on the next one and see if there's similar product inside or different.
Okay. And all right, so make a dex roll as you move between the cars, because you have a pretty high dex, right?
She's got her gymnastics dexterity, so that's the amazing thing.
So we'll keep it pretty simple.
Oh, she makes it.
All right. And
regular make. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. And so you move over to the next car, and you're going to find, similar to the one that you were on, this hatch is secured and locked down. I can't remember, honestly, how you got into the first car.
I don't remember either.
Keeper of the Lord? Do you remember?
Do you want
this?
me to? Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
I think I was there for this episode.
I was there for it too, and I don't remember.
The two.
I feel like
I let you in. Was there a broken latch? Did I kind of miss?
I feel like maybe that got in through the door.
Was that a missed opportunity?
I don't know.
No, they went in through the top.
They did go in through the top.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember, Ethan was helping her, and that's when the door slammed open, and it knocked Ethan off the train.
Oh, so they just brute forced the lock?
Yeah,
I think they did.
Oh,
I think
we did. Well, that went well the first time.
I was going to say, with the last words, what can go wrong?
Exactly. Yeah. So she'd like to try it again, because what could go wrong?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Oh my God, she rolls a 1.
Jesus.
A 0,
Christ.
and a
That's
1.
Amazing.
Our first one in like ages. So maybe it was broken. I haven't rolled a 1.
Well, I creatively think how a 5'0" nun who's a gymnast brute forces her way into a hatch, or maybe while she thinks about how she gets into that hatch, because it's not going to be brute force. Let's cut over to Sam, who's staring between the trains.
Yep, and as I'm staring down here at these trains for the last, 10, 15 minutes, I've really been trying to watch as we're going over bumps and the like. How's the coupling mechanism work? How hard would this be for us to decouple a train in the event that it needed that curve?
I would say this is going to need an intelligence roll.
Oh, an intelligence roll from good old Sam, huh?
Yeah, or mechanical repair. If you've got either one of those, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Regular success on intelligence.
Okay. So Sam's looking down at that coupling and he's thinking, he's not certain, but he's thinking that if he could get a large enough pole and sturdy enough one too, so not like a broomstick, he's going to need some sort of metal pole to wedge into the coupling, that if he rotates it just right on a bump, he's going to be able to decouple the train.
Okay, so a metal rod of some sort, something to jam in there.
Yeah.
All right, he's gonna make a mental note of this. And in the scurry and flurry of folks going to and hither, up and down this train, who is ahead up the train, closer to the locomotive side of things?
So remind me, are you just outside the dining car?
I'm between the dining car and the prep car.
Okay.
On the front side, if that makes sense.
So,
yeah.
So the whole time you would have been standing there, you would have just seen some large cloths being carried by a couple of individuals into the food prep car, and they'd be kind of bloody.
Sure.
You'd probably want them to avoid you.
Yeah, no, I
really quickly, not just cloths, but remember we wrapped it in like tarp. So there was cloth, but then we wrapped tarp, like plastic sheeting around that. So he wouldn't actually see blood, right?
There was no plastic tarps. They were there were canvas tarps. If I wasn't clear on that. Yeah.
But it was meant to contain it.
Right. But they'd still have some staining.
Okay. Well, so I'd keep an eye up. Are they wearing gloves? Is anybody getting, blood on their hands?
There was we went over this part for sure. You can make a spot hidden on that as you focus on the coupling there.
That is a 4. Straight up 4.
Then
good use of seeing that they wear gloves.
Maybe you would notice that they wore no gloves whatsoever, but didn't appear to have any staining on them.
Okay. And I'll tell them, watch out for that blood. You don't know what could be transmitted within all that. Make sure you stay clear of it, y'all.
And they reply to you, are you the same guy that talked in a Southern accent 5 minutes ago?
Now you gonna, yeah, I did. Yeah, but I rolled a 4, and so my octave goes up by a couple of decibels. And so that's fair.
No, but they're very kind of like huffing, and they're like, that's what the other guy said. He's working as hard, wanting us to clean up this mess. This is, and one guy just like retches right over the side of the train. And this is a little bit of a flashback from where we left off, but they moved into the car.
Right on. So I'd make my way into the prep area towards the front of the train.
Okay. And Johnny, help me out. Is that where you left off? Was in that same car? Or did you stay in the dining car?
I was staying in the dining car until they were done. So if they were finished and walking by and they were ready to put the body in the fridge, I would be with them.
Okay. So as you walk in, Sam, as you walk into the food prep car, you would see a guy pretty forcefully ordering these other train workers, telling them how to put this body into the freezer and telling them to get the other food out. And so I'll let you and Johnny take this scene.
So when I walk by, if you're still standing there, I'm just going to sort of go aside and I'm going to be like, all right, listen, sir, I think you're out here. I think you were in there. I know something's going on. I know this is a bad scene. When you're here with a shotgun and you're standing here and there's people running around and they're scared, my sense is that it could cause even more concern.
Yeah, well, what the hell happened to the person whose body popped over there, Mr. Eddy?
Did you know Eddy?
Of course I knew Eddy. We went way back till about, I don't know, a couple days ago or so.
All right, so now I'm gonna sort of be mentally cataloging, and I'm gonna be, wait a minute, are you Sam Wagoneer?
What's it to you?
Oh God, asshole! Yes, you're definitely Sam Wagoneer. I know the story. Listen, Sam, I got all the background on you. I know you're trying. I know you're trying to be a good guy and do the right thing. I am asking you to not walk around a scene on a train where people are already freaked out with a shotgun.
Is it against the law?
Yes, it actually is against the law to be on a moving train going between jurisdictions.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a real fib there, buddy. And I'm just gonna tap you on the shoulder and say, listen, you do what you need to do. I'm just gonna be scoping things out here and then make my way back. But don't you mind? I'm not causing no trouble.
All right, and then we'll cut from there to Buddy in his room. And Buddy, I imagine you hands over your ears.
Yep.
Trying to drown it out.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the voice saying, "Are you mad at me?"
I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. I'm not talking to you.
But why are you trying to hurt me?
Go away. I want you to go away.
But you brought me with you.
I'm trying to get rid of you.
No, but you've carried me. You've carried me this far, buddy. Don't you want to look inside me?
No, that's what killed Eddie. No, I don't want anything to do with you.
I didn't hurt Eddie.
Yes, you did. He's dead. As soon as I took you away, he died. I'm not talking to you.
I didn't have anything to do with Eddie.
No, I don't believe you. I'm not
Come
listening to
read
you.
me.
No, absolutely not. I'm not. I'm no. And
But we're talking now.
That's not funny. So Buddy is like as far away as he can get. So I'm guessing pressed up against the door.
Okay.
Because this thing was leaning against the outside wall of the train.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing Buddy is like facing the door, hands over ears, and like pressed against it, eyes squinted shut.
And then as he's trying with all his power, he hears very clearly, "I know where your dad is."
Oh, God. I don't want to talk to you. How do you know my dad?
I know a lot of things, buddy.
All right, if you're so smart, what's my dad's name?
Why, Francis, his name is... This is the keeper, forgot it. What's your dad's name?
God, I forgot it too. I know I told you. Hold on a sec.
Shoot.
I know I told you this.
I can't help. There was no name
we
on
go.
the letter.
So do you want me to text it to you, or do you want to
Just tell me. Just tell me.
It's Daniel Clifton.
That's what I thought. Okay. And so you hear, "Why, Francis, your dad's name is Daniel."
What you said is? You said is.
Is.
Are you saying my dad's alive?
I'm saying a lot of things. Don't you want to come pick me up, buddy?
I don't want to pick you up. I don't want to come near you. I have just a clarification question, just so that I can understand how this looks in my head.
Yeah.
Is Buddy talking out loud, or is this conversation completely inside his head?
I would think it would make sense if Buddy's talking out loud.
Okay.
But-
and is he? Well, I guess that would be my decision. But am I hearing this in my head, or am I hearing it out loud?
Well, I think you've just invited a sand roll for the evening.
Okay, excellent. It's really good for Buddy. Well, it's a decent roll, but it is not a success.
So what would be more upsetting for Buddy?
Oh, it would definitely be more upsetting for Buddy to perceive that he is hearing it.
Okay. Then that's the way he's perceiving it.
Okay.
And he'll take 2 points of damage with that.
Okay.
As he continues this conversation with the book.
Great. Okay. All right. So yeah, he's so So I'm visioning now that he's talking a little bit, even though he really doesn't want to be. He's still got his hand squeezed over his ears, which makes it even more traumatic that he's hearing this.
Okay.
And his forehead is against the door, which I'm guessing is a window to the hallway.
Sure.
And he's probably squinching up his face, trying even harder to just not hear.
If you don't want me, buddy, you can just give me away.
No, I don't want anyone else to have to deal with you. You're dangerous. I want to make you go away for good.
And on that, we'll switch over to Colette with Amanda.
So Colette has been filling Amanda in on the details of the incident, and that's where we left things. Amanda was taking a lot of notes, and at some point, this just occurs to me that she's way too interested and I don't know her, and I just stop mid-sentence and I ask, you said you researched this stuff? What is this stuff?
Well, lots of things. I mean, I tell people that I'm going to beauty pageants and reporting on beauty pageants, but really, there's a lot of weird stuff going on out there, and I've always got my eyes on it and trying to keep tabs on it. And this seems like, I mean, people covered in blood screaming down a train seems pretty wild to me.
Yeah, it's wild. It's also wild that it sounds like you're lying to me, because I asked you before if you were a journalist and you said no, you were a professor. And now you report on beauty pageants and
in
chase
research
rumors?
papers. In research papers. Right? I'm always looking at, how these beauty pageants come about. That's what I publish papers on, but that's not what I'm really working on.
What are you working on?
Well, I mean, I just think there's a lot of odd occurrences out there in the world, and that there's not enough information in our hands, the people's hands.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty odd that my friend exploded. Are you saying
furiously again, right? Like,
well, I already said that to her, but
okay,
sure.
Okay.
I mean, I told her the
That's right.
details of the incident and mentioned infection when I was telling her she had to change clothes.
Okay.
Are you saying you have encountered other incidents this strange?
Stranger.
How? What? Where?
What do you mean? I mean,
who? Why?
Does it? Could it? Well, I'll give you just last month. I was down in Albuquerque, and full moon. Woke up the next day, whole field of cattle eaten. What's going to do that?
Eaten? How do you know they were eaten?
I was there. I mean, things that look like a bear launched into the side of it. But bears eat when they're hungry. This was no bear. I mean, just the whole stomach of the cow ripped out, and then nothing else. But it was done to a whole herd. I counted 62 of them.
You were there. You saw them. You saw these creatures, and
yeah, well, I mean, Little Miss New Mexico was going on, and so I.
All right, Colette's not laughing that hard.
Right. And, I was just keeping my ears open, and small town. I mean, it's not that small. It's Albuquerque, but, word got around pretty fast. Everybody was out in the field stomping around trying to figure out what had happened.
So other people saw these creatures?
Yeah, made the front page of their paper. Here. She digs around in her suitcase and she pulls up, and it's just like a total kind of B grade movie headline. It's like slaughter fields of cattle. What could have done this? Night terror or night beast terrorizes local farmer.
Okay. So where are you headed on this train?
Well, I mean,
Are you
officially, I'm headed to say that I'm following up on some participants from another beauty pageant, but I'm going wherever this train goes.
So you didn't get on this train with a prior knowledge of more
Prior knowledge of what?
anything. Like you chase these strange events.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering if you're going somewhere in particular, because I'll go the other direction.
And she laughs. And on that, we'll cut over to Johnny and Sam.
Well, I've made my way. Yeah, I'm just making my way through that prep to the next car. What would the next one be there, Keeper?
And this is the staff car. So essentially just think of it like almost like a staff resting lounge area, somewhere to go between their breaks. This is where Johnny Dante recruited some of the employees to help clean up. So the people playing cards, just kind of hanging out in their downtime, reading papers, those kinds of things.
And I'm just going to be just walking forward all the way through the train. As I'm walking, I just want to keep an eye on, is anybody blood covered?
Not in here. In fact, everybody, we'll make a spot hidden. Let's see what you pick up on in here.
That is a 14.
Yeah, and so everybody seems pretty calm in here. There's not much going on. Almost like they have no idea what's happened, except maybe like raising some eyebrows here and there that when Johnny was in there kind of being exclamatory about getting people going and talking to the conductor. It's a little unusual to have people walking through, but they basically are just trying to not get picked for body removal duty. So
right on. And so I'll just make my way forward. Do I see the conductor? Anybody that looks like a conductor?
No. This is still just a car. And then the car after this is going to be mainly a storage unit. So as you make it into the next car, there's all kinds of cleaning supplies and things like that. Johnny, what are you up to?
So as soon as it's done and Eddie's body is put away, I'm going to direct them to finish cleaning, to get buckets of water, to get all the blood and everything up, and then to throw the blood, like to get rid of the bloody water. Sort of, hopefully, I'm assuming they have things that drain onto the tracks.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm just going to say, just remember, don't touch any of it. We don't know what got him. I can't find any signs of explosives. I'm going to be doing a bit more digging, but I need you guys to just keep everyone away from the blood and keep them away from that body. I don't want anyone going in that fridge. Once it's closed, I'm going to put some tape across it, and I better not find those broken because I don't want anybody going near that body until we get to the next station.
Well, what about the passengers in the other cars?
Yeah, that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go check them out, but I just need to make sure that the body's away and the blood in here is taken care of. So if they're sort of on that, then I'm going to start making my way away and telling them, yeah, I'll be back to check in on things, and just come find me if you need anything or if anything else happens. And then I'm going to leave the car and I'm going to start making my way and sort of going compartment by compartment to look in on people and to check if they got blood on them and just if they see if anyone saw anything.
Yep. And they're on it for you. So they're like, this is really bizarre at this point, and you can tell they kind of want to be done with it.
Sure. Okay. So tell me what you want to do, but I'm just going to start at the nearest compartment, knock on the door and say, Johnny Dante, federal agent. I've got some questions about the incident.
Okay. And you would do that a few times, and let me see here. And you hear kind of a really kind of meek voice from the other side say, what was that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm wondering if you were in the train car and you saw the incident that happened in there.
Oh no, I've been keeping to myself in here, just reading my book. And she holds
Okay,
up a copy of Moby Dick.
Nice. It's a good book. I love it. Is there anybody else? I guess I can see she opened the door. There's no one else in there?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'll just say thank you, ma'am. Yeah, just ahead of the dining car, okay? And just keep going door to door looking for people.
Okay. You wouldn't do that too far, and Colette, you and Amanda would hear a knock at your door.
All right, and you'd hear Johnny Dante, FBI. I'm just here. I've got some questions. If you saw anything about the incident that happened in the dining car.
Well, I just look at Amanda and look at the door. It's not my car compartment.
Oh, and so she'd give you a wink, Colette, and she'd put her pad away and kind of just like, and she'd open the door and she'd be like, "Oh, hi, are you a police officer?"
And I hold up my FBI badge. I say, "Hi, Johnny Dante. I'm with the FBI."
Oh,
yeah, it's a nice
wow.
badge, right? So
what's going on, officer?
Yeah, so there was an incident in the dining car. A
Really?
a man was hurt. And I'm just trying to get some information.
Yeah, come on in.
Okay, thank you very much.
And she invites you in, and we'll cut to Sister B.
Okay.
All right, Sister B, how did you get into this hatch?
Got it.
You tell me. With a 1, you can you got this narrative. It's all yours.
Autonomy. Oh, Sister B makes her way across gap, crawls down ladder, jumps over coupling, makes her way up second ladder with a dexterity roll. She makes it. Starts going across roof. In her stubborn attitude, she thinks, "Oh, I will force this thing open. I know I can do it myself, even without my helper." And then she grabs a bar that's through a couple loops and is bolted on the end. And when her hand comes down on the bolt, she notices not a design flaw, but a mechanical flaw in how it was put together. Vibrating train, you have bolts. The bolts should have washers. Somebody put these together without washers. And her hand goes on this piece, and the washer is loose. And she looks, "This is crazy. Who would put this together? Such like this. It is all coming apart." And she spins one of the nuts right off the end of a threaded part of a rod that goes through. And then towards the other end, there's another bolt there. And she starts taking a few of these bolts off, and the whole thing gets very, very loose. And it's loose enough, it's built where you can't pop the whole thing out, but it's loose enough where you can jiggle it, and there's enough where you can jiggle it and then pop the door open. You just passed the latching mechanism of it. And she's able to do that and pulls it back, pops it open.
All right, I wrote jiggle and pop.
Nice.
I was so hoping you were going to start singing Jiggle It.
And then she looks down into the darkness or the not darkness. She doesn't know what's in there.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of light kind of pushing around your head down below. And I would imagine it would be something akin to what's the ruins that were underground, all the clay armies? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, in China. Yeah.
Yeah.
The emperor's army.
Almost akin to looking down and just seeing the heads of an army inside the car.
Oh, and so she's taken back for a second and then looks down, and their appearance appears to be humanoid.
Make a spot hidden.
Absolutely. 26 for her. That is a hard success.
Okay. They're humanoid but strange. They don't move like a humanoid figure.
Wait, they're moving?
They're jiggling with the train.
Ah, so the jiggling, that's what Sister B wants to take a note of. The hard successes. They're jiggling do in rhythm with the train jiggling, or is some of their jiggling and moving?
I don't know.
Independent.
Can you act that out a little bit more for me, Wayne, and I'll tell you which one.
I have to do my marionette.
This is a lot of jiggling talk.
So yes, I was going to say, if there's enough light to see that perhaps something on them, like if their heads are moving, like the heads just, if it's a mechanical thing or a statue, it's wobbly.
Yeah,
Or
so it's not a bobblehead and it's not a statue, and it just looks slightly mechanical in terms of like the head does move separately from the body, and you catch these glimpses that, however, that they're not anchored down, but they're also not supporting themselves.
wow. Sister B is incredibly intrigued by this, and she will she'll start to lower her look around and see if she can lower herself down onto anything to get a foothold in there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's...
And what's she using to lower herself down?
Well, she only has herself in her hands at this point, so she could go back. I think it would be wise. So she'll go back to the other car. And if she needs to do a dex roll for that, she's happy to do that.
That's okay. We don't have to get stuck crossing the river.
And she'll go back and get the cut tarp that she had, and just untie it, because she had one there right at the top. Untie it and bring it on over. Tie it, and with one hand on the edge of the porthole, you can call it, I suppose. And she doesn't want to call it a manhole because she's Sister B. It's a sister hole, and she is that's terrible. And she holds the edge and starts lowering herself down.
I really hope Art's writing down sister hole.
Hole.
Now.
I've got so many options.
Right there and go right to Buddy.
Buddy's not prepared.
Nobody is.
It's a sister hole. Okay. Got it.
Not okay.
That's going to have to go in the next disclaimer.
Right? All right. Yeah, so against his better judgment, Buddy is getting drawn into a conversation with this thing because his curiosity is outweighing his fear. So I think, didn't he ask something about how do you know my dad? Wasn't that the last question? What was the last thing that happened?
So you said is, and it reaffirmed is, meaning dad's
yeah, that's right.
alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's... How do you know my dad?
But Buddy, I know an awful lot of things. I can share those things with you. You just need to come read me.
Oh, but that's how Eddy got dead. I don't want to end up like Eddy.
I didn't kill Eddy.
Prove it. Then what did kill Eddy?
Uh,
I see the keeper's face.
The
is
answer
like,
is
oh,
the
shit.
keeper. The keeper killed Eddy.
It says, "Come hold me. I can show you."
God, I don't want Eddy to go crazy either. Or Buddy rather. All right. Buddy is clearly torn. He's having a very hard time with this discussion. And he has not touched this thing directly yet. No, I can't touch you. I can't touch you. Because if I touch you and then I die, then I can't protect anybody else from you. You'll do the same thing to somebody else.
But I haven't done anything to anybody else.
You
Buddy.
killed Eddy. I saw it. As soon as I took you away from Eddy, he died.
What killed Eddie's no longer here, buddy. It left the train.
How can that be? Nothing left the train.
It did.
How
Go
did
back
it-
in the car. Go back in the car. You can see where it left the train.
Where?
I didn't kill Eddie.
Where?
Right out the window.
Out the window? How can something go out the window? The windows are all closed.
all I can
Windows
tell you,
windows
buddy.
don't open.
If you want to know the whole truth, you have to hold me.
I'm not touching you. I'm gonna look around the train car. I want to see if there's something there that I can cover this thing up with, so that nobody
mean,
else sees it.
There's sheets. There's blankets. It's your bed.
Oh, okay.
It's the car you were. Yeah, it's the car you're sharing with
Oh, we're right.
Colette and
That's right. So I assume there's some sort of like
corpse
duffel. There's
formerly
like
known as Eddie.
right. There's like a duffel bag somewhere, right? Like one of us has a. I'm guessing Eddie
Sure.
or Buddy probably has one of those army duffel bags with like the it's like an over the shoulder thing, but
Yeah.
Like a cylinder?
Of course.
grab
Yeah.
that and drop it in the corner as if someone went to sit down and just dropped it over there, but like covering up the book.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go out, leave the thing, close the door, make sure that it's properly closed, and march down the hall back to the dining car.
And who wants to close out this? Who wants to do our final scene for this episode?
Wow, how is that possible? It's got to be. I guess Sam.
Sam
really
hasn't
wants to.
had a big scene yet.
Okay. Sam, what do you want to do?
Oh boy. Well, so I'm going through the supply car and I got a couple things on my mind. The first is, where is the booze?
Make a spot hidden. There was booze in the dining car, just to be clear.
Right. No, I'm looking for enough a larger volume. I got an 18, which is my it's a hard success.
Okay, and there's a storage cabinet up towards the front of this car, and it appears to be locked. And you're guessing that maybe they've locked the booze down there.
Got it. And just like a regular simple lock, like a
Yeah,
little
that
padlock,
looks like-
nothing
Yeah,
too. Butt of the gun would probably handle that if I needed to. All right.
yeah, sure.
Fair points. And then the next car over.
The next car over appears to be. You can't access it. It looks to be possibly where they're storing coal or something else. It would be the last car before the locomotive.
Okay, so there's no way to get to the very front of the train, like the locomotive engine compartment.
I mean, theoretically, there's always a way.
Fair, touche, Keeper. It involved me getting up, climbing, and I'm presuming tripping over coal and the end of Sam Wagoneer. So, Sam
Would it be,
Rail,
Please do it.
There's never tunnels on the train
There's an old
tracks. Never.
nun doing that,
Yeah,
having no problem
seriously.
with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but a nun knows how to jiggle nuts, and Sam Wagoneer doesn't. So he's gonna just take a look and go over to the alcohol cabinet, and he's gonna try and
Okay.
just bust it open.
Yeah, just give me a straight. Just
Strength
give me a
roll?
straight strength. Yeah, strength on that.
It's a 2.
What
Oh,
the hell with
jeez.
these rolls?
I'm like killing it right now.
Take the narrative, buddy. Take the narrative.
All right, so Sam in one felt swoop takes the butt of a shotgun, hits that padlock, and it's been weathered and rusted from many a run and has not been replaced. And so it just sort of cracks and easily comes open. And I open it up, and I presume there'd be just a cornucopia of various liquors of various types and sorts, maybe even some rare stuff that Sam will keep for himself. And he'll take 2 large handles. And are there cups back here? I presume there are cups maybe in the dining car.
Yeah, those would be in the dining car.
Yeah, and he'll start making his way back.
Just for clarity's sake here, you have 2 large, very large bottles of liquor, one in each hand. I know you were hoping that the keeper would miss this point, so you're leaving the shotgun in the storage car?
No, I thought my shotgun may have had like a strap that I would have over my shoulder that I'd be able to easily have it over the back.
Why don't you make a luck roll on that, Sam Wagoneer?
Thought my two, maybe in my narrative control would just allow me just to fluid this forward, but that's fine. Well, my 93 would suggest that I do not have a strap.
You do not have a strap.
I do not have that strap. And so I would look within this car. Is there a satchel of some sort or something to carry or even like a box?
So are you pushing this roll, Sam Wagoneer? Because that's what your keeper hears, is that you're pushing this roll.
You know what? Fuck yeah. Sam Wagoneer, he's a man who likes to push. His rolls have been good. That's how luck rolls, right?
Oh boy. I think he just jinxed it.
It's a 50, and my current luck is a 53.
All right. So on that note, we will cut away with Sam. Tell me what you find to strap your shotgun to your body.
You know what? I presume that there may be like a bag.
Oh, a satchel to put the
satchel
liquor in.
That I put maybe like that they shuffle coal back and forth with or something in there or supplies. Okay. Maybe a couple heads of lettuce in a bag, and I'd be able to use that, dump them out, put the alcohol in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we will close with Sam strutting down the supply car with his shotgun in one hand and a shoulder with a couple of large bottles of vodka, high proof vodka.
Oh, well, I'd say whiskey. Gotta be whiskey.
Okay. 2 high proof bottles of whiskey. And who knows what old Sam Wagoneer's up to. And we'll close.
Oh, dear. So Sam is suddenly a thief. Got it.
Wait, he has...
That's going to do it for us. That's right. Not suddenly. That's right. Sam is a thief.
Wait, was there a bicycle?
Is there a bicycle in there too? All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Under the Library. Until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com. Don't forget to check out our other show. It's called Up Your RPG and can be found wherever you get your podcasts. So for me, for Michael, for Rick, for Scott, for Emily, and for Wayne, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.